Hey there, and welcome to this teacher tips video for the Stoplight project, where we try to share some tips and some insight on how to best lead this activity with your own group. This activity is typically a 2-day or session project, but that can depend on the skill level of the group, and the students do tend to love it, but there are some challenges in there. The overall goal of this video is to help you feel more comfortable and confident going into the project. As far as the videos that we put together go, we strongly recommend that you go ahead and watch those beforehand to familiarize yourself with the project. And take some mental notes of where those videos pause so you can be prepared to ask those inquiry-based learning questions that we pose to the kids. And when those videos are all done, we recommend that you display the gallery section of the project page onto the projector or screen so the kids can see some examples as they're building. As far as the building and the testing of this project goes, one strategy that we have seen work is to take things step by step. And what we mean by that is instead of playing all the videos for the kids and turning them loose like we do in some of our other open-ended design challenges, this one, it might be a good idea to tackle one step at a time before moving on to the next. The advantage there is it really encourages the students who might be breezing through the project to help some of the students who may be struggling or falling behind, because if we're not moving on to the next step until everybody's caught up, they're going to want to help out. Here's an example that we've used of how to break everything up into a few step process. First, let's actually build the structure of the stoplight. Second, we want to get the screwdrivers and the bulbs and glue those in, putting a tiny little glue dot there to make the next steps that much easier. Third is bending that short part of the LED and wrapping the copper tape around. This part can be hard, so really encourages students to help each other out, and we include lots of extra strips in case they make a mistake. Finally, they can finish it up by gluing the battery to the base and dealing with the wires. As everyone's working, and for the sake of some good discussion, you can ask them questions like, have you ever done something like this before? Do you understand the science behind this project? And if they're struggling, ask them to think about what do they know about electricity and why that part might not be working. Remember, the metal has to touch and some of the components need to be facing the correct way. And as far as the materials go, it really depends on the strategy you want to go for when tackling this project. If you're going to turn them loose, then you can set things out buffet style. If you want to take on the project more step-by-step style, you only want to put out the materials needed for that step before moving on. If the project happens to be running a little early and you need some ideas for how to fill in the time, no worries, here's some tips. And the same thing goes for if you're running late. Here's some ideas for how to speed up the process but still stay on task. When cleaning up, go ahead and put any unused or reusable items back in the bin so we can get them back and recycle them for future projects if necessary. And the only real notes on safety are to please just use common sense, and when working with the glue gun, we require that the students wear gloves and work over newspaper to respect the space. Finally, with the little LED bulbs, just make sure that they're not getting put near anybody's eyes. So with all that being said, thank you so much for all that you're doing for these kids. If any questions at all pop up before actually starting this project, please do not hesitate to reach out. We know the electrical component ones can be a little tricky, and we'd love to help you feel comfortable.